Well, Taplow, well, of course. They are, sir. I wouldn't mention names, but you know them as well as I do. Of course, I know most masters think we boys don't understand a thing, but sir, you are different. You are young, well, comparatively, anyway, and you are science. You must know what sadism is. Frank, God, good Lord, what are our schools coming to? Taplow anyway, the croak isn't a sadist. That's what I am saying. He wouldn't be so frightening if he were, because at least it would show he had some feelings. But he hasn't. He is all shriveled up inside like a nut, and he seems to hate people to like him. It's funny that I don't know any other master who doesn't like being liked, Frank, and I don't know any boy who doesn't use that for his own purposes. Frank, well, it's natural, sir, but not with Croc. Frank, Mr. Crocker Harris. Taplow, Mr. Crocker Harris. The funny thing is that, in spite of everything, I do rather like him. I can't help it. And sometimes I think he sees it, and that seems to shrivel him up even more. Now, Taplow explained to him that there are many teachers in school whose names he will not take, but they are a sadist. They think the boy doesn't understand a thing, but Frank is different from them, as he is young and he is different from science background. Frank, in a surprising tone, exclaimed about condition of schools. Now Taplow goes on ranting about Mr. Harris. He shares that Harris is not a sadist, and yet he has no feelings. He is a type of person who might hate it when people like him. He further says that he doesn't know any master who doesn't like being liked. Now Frank mocks him and says he hasn't seen any student using this quality for his own purpose. Now Taplow agrees and calls Mr. Harris croak again, to which Frank corrects him by saying his full name. Now Taplow corrects himself and admits that he still likes him and can't help it. And sometimes Mr. Harris sees it and he wrinkles even more, to which Frank replied that he must be exaggerating. Now Frank क्या है, उसको बोल रहे हैं कि ऐसे टीचर्स बताओ क्या है, मीन सैडिज्म का मतलब क्या है। और वो क्या बोलते हैं कि एक आप साइंस टीचर हो, आपको पता होगा कि सैडिज्म का क्या मतलब होता है। और वो क्या बताता है फर्दर कि मेरे टीचर हैं जो, वो क्या है, क्रॉकर हैरिस सैडिस्ट नहीं है। और वो क्या ऐसे पर्सन है जो क्या है, उनको अगर बच्चे पसंद भी करते हैं और वो क्या करते हैं, हेट करते हैं इस बात को कि उनको अच्छा नहीं लगता कि कोई उन्हें पसंद करे, और वो ऐसे सॉर्ट ऑफ पर्सन है। देन फ्रैंक बोलते हैं कि तू ये अपने पर्पस के लिए बोल दे, तेरे को क्या है, कोई तेरा पर्पस होगा, मेन मोटिव होगा ये सब बोलने का। मीन्स टीचर्स हैं जो एक दूसरे को क्या है, अपने से ऊपर नहीं देख सकते। इस प्ले में ये भी बताएं। मीन्स फ्रैंक जो है आगे नहीं बढ़ने देना चाहते थे क्रॉकर हैरिस को। उनको ये था कि टैप्लो क्या है, उनकी एक्टिंग करके दिखाए और उनको बुरा बोल ले, लेकिन क्या है, टैप्लो रिस्पेक्ट करता अपने सर की। नेक्स्ट इज Taplow, no sir, I am not informed. That other day he made one of his classical jokes. Of course nobody laughed because nobody understood it, myself included. Still I knew he would meant it as funny, so I laughed out of ordinary common politeness and feeling a bit sorry for him for having made a poor joke. Now I can't remember what the joke was, but suppose I make it now. You laugh, sir. Taplow, Taplow, you laughed at my little joke, I noticed. I must confess that I am pleased at the advance your Latin has made since you so readily have understood what the rest of the form didn't. Perhaps now you would be good enough to explain it to them so that they too can share your pleasure. Now Taplo shares further to Frank that one day Mr. Harris cracked one of his classic jokes to which no one laughed. He understood that the joke was meant to be funny and laughed anyway because he wanted to be polite and to feel sorry for making such poor jokes. He doesn't remember what the joke was and asked Frank to suppose he cracked a joke right away and asked him to laugh. Now he imitated his teacher again and told Frank that what his reaction was when he laughed at his joke. Mr. Harris asked him to explain the joke to the rest of the form as he was the only one laughing in the class. अब क्या है एक दिन क्या है क्रॉकर हैरिस क्लास में जोक सुनाते हैं और कोई नहीं हंसता उस जोक पे और टैपलो क्या है ऐसे हंस देता है कि उसके सर की रिस्पेक्ट के लिए मतलब शो करने के लिए कि और नहीं कोई हंस रहा तो मैं ही चलो हंस दूँ और वो क्या है हंस देता है और उसके सर उसको बुला के पूछते हैं कि कोई नहीं हंसा तू अकेला ही हंसा मीन्स तेरे को समझ आया चला के सुना सभी को ताकि सभी हंस ले नाउ एज ही वॉज सेइंग दिस द डोर ऑफ द क्लासरूम opened and Millie, the wife of Mr. Crocker Harris, entered the class. She was a thin woman who dresses smarter than the rest of the women who are wives of the schoolmasters. Now she was wearing a cape and was carrying a shopping basket. She closed the door as she entered and stood next to screen watching both of them talking. They noticed her after a few seconds. Then Frank, come along, Taplow. Do not be so selfish as to keep a good joke to yourself. Tell the others. Oh Lord, Frank turns quickly and seems infinitely relieved at seeing Millie. Oh, hello, Millie. Without expression, hello. Taplow moving up to the left of the Frank, whispering, do you think? She heard. Frank. Millie takes off her cape and hangs it on the hall stand. I think she did. She was standing there quite a time. Taplow, if she did and she tells him there goes my remove. Frank, nonsense. Now see, as Frank was joking about telling the joke to others, he saw Millie and stopped talking. He turned around and was relieved by saying her hello. She replied hello without any expression. Now Taplow asked Frank if she heard any of our conversation. Frank thought that she did because she was standing there for quite some time. Now Millie took her cape off and hung it on the hall stand. Now Taplow, in a worrying tone, says if she did hear them, then he will not get his remove tomorrow. Frank tells him not to think too much. Frank crosses the fireplace. Now अब क्या है जैसे ही वो बातें कर रहे होते हैं क्या है मिली जो क्रॉकर हैरिस की वाइफ है वो आ जाती है और वो दोनों क्या है डरते हैं कि अगर मिली ने कोई कन्वर्सेशन सुन ली हो उनकी तो क्या बनेगा और फ्रैंक टैपलो बोलता है कि मेरा रिज़ल्ट तो गया कि मैंने जो इतनी एक्टिंग की है सर की अगर मिली मैम ने जो देखा हुआ तो सुना हुआ तो क्या है वो सर को बता देंगी नेक्स्ट इज़ मिली waiting for my husband Taplow yes Millie he's at Purser's and might be there quite a time if I were you I would go Taplow he said most particularly I was to come Millie well why don't you run away for a quarter of an hour and come back Taplow supposing he gets here before me I will take the blame I will tell you what you can do a job for him take this prescription to the chemist and get it made up Taplow all right Mr. Crocker Harris now Millie picks up the basket from sideboard and asks Taplo if he is waiting for his husband, to which Taplo replies yes. She tells him he is at Bursar's and he might take some time. If she was in his place, she would have left. Taplo replies that he said he will come. As Millie unpacks the thing from the basket, she suggests him to go for a quarter an hour and then come back. Taplo asks if Mr. Harris comes back before him, then what will happen? Millie assured him that she will take his blame and takes out a prescription from the basket. She hands it over to Taplo and asks him to bring medicine for her from the chemist. He agrees and crosses the door upright. Now Millie क्या उसको बोलती है कि तू जा, अगर मैं तेरी जगह पे होती अब तक चली जाती, तुम क्या यहाँ वेट कर रहे हो मेरे हस्बैंड की। और वो क्या बोलता है यस, लेकिन मैं नहीं जा सकता क्योंकि अगर सर मेरे से पहले आ गए तो वो मेरे को मारेंगे। और वो क्या बोलती है कि तुम जाओ, ये प्रेस्क्रिप्शन है जो ले जाओ और मेरे लिए क्या मेडिसिन ले आओ। हमारे पास एक एक्सक्यूज़ भी होगा कि मैंने काम पे भेजा और जो भी ब्लेम होगा तेरा मैं खुद ले लूँगी। और क्रॉकर हैरिस और टैपलो जो है वो प्रेस्क्रिप्शन लेके भाग के बाहर चला जाता है और बोलता है ऑल राइट। और इसी के साथ ही क्या है, ये प्ले ख़त्म हो जाता है। आई होप यू अंडरस्टैंड दिस चैप्टर वेल। थैंक्स।